Grab a hold of that one. Yeah. He's a big boy too, so.
He's been lying down.
Yep. Okay, so just hold that one over there and push down on this one. You can let go up here. He won't flip. Find that joint. There you go. See how easy that broke? Now you just take it, break it again. Follow your cut all the way around. And there you go. Again, make sure you just take the tips off. But if you're gonna feed them to your dogs, they can digest the nails, but if that tip gets stuck somewhere, yeah. And
it's just like a stick. They can get dislodged and they can cut.
See how it's nice and flat?
Right.
No sharp edges. And you can take a toenail off. Okay, you do that one. Find the joint. Grab a hold of it with your hand. Get it in there. So now, oh, hold on. So now you don't do a sawing action. So when you get in here, just take the knife, push down, and then wrap it this way around. There you go. Now take the knife off. Let go. Let go. Pop it, and then follow all that. Yep. Cartilage. Yep. Nice and easy. There you go. There you go. And see how that's coming right off? Now you want to
just twist it off.
Well, you can twist it off, but you got to cut through that bottom still. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Just like that. Good. Cut the toenails off.
Southpaw trying to use scissors designed for
right-handers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. You'll get it. Yeah, right about there. There you go. And they're real good shears too. I got them out of the Cabela's catalog, so I can't even know what make they are. That's good. That's all cartilage underneath there. Okay, so now again with the head, where we bled him right behind here, and we put it there. So what you do is just come down, find where the bone's going to be, cut through the rest of the skin. Always make sure to cut away from yourself. Cut through here. Even with having a very sharp knife, that part of the skin is really rough. Okay, so grab these.
And cut through the joint.
Yep, right where that joint's at right there. Okay? Take the beak off to that point right there, and then you can give it right to your dog. Yep. Clip, clip. There you go. And then you can give that right to your dog. The dogs love them. They absolutely love them. Okay, so now.
And the brain's good for their brain as well.
They say,
So they say.
They say if there's something wrong with your body, or something wrong with somebody's body, you're supposed to eat that organ.
Right.
I mean, it's an old wives' tale. I don't know how true it is or not.
I've seen it a lot. I don't know.
So have I.
I'm not a doctor.
All right, so go ahead and grab the scissors, because you want to save your beards. You always want to save your beards. Yeah. Go deep with them. Open them big. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now you got yourself a beard. All right.
It's better than mine.
Yeah, a little better. All right. So now the next thing is, and now if we water bath these, or if we dip them, everything would come out and you would get this. But there's no meat up here.
Right.
So what you do is see where the wings are different. All the underwings are the same underneath here, but the feathers, how they see where that little feather is right there.
Yep.
So that's about right where the joint's going to be. So you can feel in here. I'll let you feel it. Put your finger right there, and then you feel me move it. Feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's about where you want to break it, and you can break it by hand. This guy's going to be tough because he's a little older. You can break it by hand. See? Okay. And then you get your clips, and you go right. See where that joint's at there? Yep. Find that joint. Now open them up deep. There you go. Yep. Go ahead. Go right down through. You can use the table for leverage. Push down on the table. There you go. Okay, and a lot of guys actually, they'll keep these and they'll use them to drum on the ground when they're hunting and stuff like that.
My driver from Afghanistan, he's a big turkey hunter.
Yep.
He always kept the tails, the wings,
yep.
all the feathers.
And there's a bone, and I'd have to do some research, but I know that there's a bone in the wing that if you pull it out and clean it, you make a turkey call out of it. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool things you can do with a turkey. And just pull this out. That's that lock feather.
Okay.
Yep. That's that one that when we go to peel this off is going to be a pain in the butt. So all right, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to come over here. We're going to find where that is. A lot of guys like to use these for putting on their arrows because they're shield cut already. So see how easy that one broke?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead, go right in there again. And you might have to use 2 hands. Oh, got her. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. And you got that lock feather. That's the lock feather. Okay. At least that's what I call it. I'm not telling you that's the exact word for it, but that's what I call it. Okay, so now you got your feet off. And you got the tips of your wings off, which is going to make it easy to undress it. Grab a hold of the neck, and you want to take your shears, and you want to start cutting. Follow that right up. Now you got to make sure as you're doing this, because you're going to be doing it with one hand. Here, let me grab a hold of them. Because you're going to be doing it with one hand. Get it up underneath here, but see where that's at?
Yep, the windpipe.
Yep, you do not want to cut anything that's close to there, because like I said, if you get into the croup, or the crop, whatever they call it, you're going to end up messing up your meat. So once you get it so far, just to get past where the crop's at, okay? You do not want to rip into the crop. We're going to reach down in here. When was the last time that they were fed?
These two, probably yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning? Okay, cool. Yeah, you always want to do 24 hours. At the least,
that's
24
what we
hours.
usually do.
Yeah, before you butcher. And again, we're going to be dealing with a lot of fat here because they've been eating a lot of corn. So what you do, you just keep going with the skin. Now, a lot of people aren't going to be able to do this because they're afraid they're going to rip stuff, or they just don't have the hand strength. You can take the shears right up through. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find his crop so that we don't cut it. Break through here. Okay, see that right there? That's his crop. And see how easy that would have been if we'd have stuck the scissors in there?
Oh yeah.
So what you do is reach in, peel around all the fat, get it all peeled up. Okay? And you just want to get it out away from the bird, because this is what'll mess your meat up a lot. That and hitting the gallbladder and stuff like that, but that's it.
Right.
So now see how big his crop is? That's all crop. Don't put too much pressure on it, but put enough on it that you can pull it up out of the cavity. So get that behind it. Okay, feel right there. Put your hand, grab it like this. So you feel where that's starting to stop. Okay. So make sure the bottom half. See, that's what you don't want to do. I just did right there. Don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab. I'm going to keep everything on this off of the skin and just start pulling out. There you go. Okay. So now there's a lot of stuff in there. So his gizzard should be stupid full. Okay. So now see this little bit right here, how it's just on the fat? We're going to take all that off anyway.
Right.
Try to keep it off your neck because we don't know what we're going to do with the necks yet. And just try to get as much out of there as possible. Sometimes they're really full of sludge, especially with how muddy it's been, they will.
The crop.
Yeah. So they'll get mud up in here. They'll have rocks in there. They'll have. I mean, I found pieces of just cardboard from them. You know, them going around and walking around and just picking up everything and eating it. So you don't want that on your meat. So now you're here. Okay. Your breast starts right here. See that?
Yep.
What you're gonna do is take your shears. You can do it by hand, but I'm gonna show you how to do it with the shears just in case. And just cut up. Okay? You don't want to cut the meat. Like I said, this meat right here, you're not losing anything. And you just keep separating it as much as you can. And once you get your fingers underneath there, see how I'm breaking it away from the breastbone? Once you get your fingers in there, you could literally unzip it just like you do a rabbit. And then just follow it straight down to where the butthole is. Don't know the proper term for that, the anus. And then, again, just start working down. Now, like I said, the toms are a lot tougher than the hens. The older the tom, the tougher it's going to be to break the skin away from the meat. But if you have to, take a knife and just cut through. Try not to nick the meat. You can pull the fat off later, or you can bring the fat right down with it. Either or, it don't matter. Get down in there and just slow little strokes. I always use the back. Don't ever go in. I mean, you can go in here like this, but you gotta be real good because
real methodical.
Yeah, here, hold that bird that way. Just hold that bird that way for a second. When I get down in here, it's just ever so slightly, but you see how I'm constantly pushing against the meat? That's the biggest thing a lot of people don't understand when they're butchering is they'll get in there and they'll start screwing up all that meat and they don't realize it. See, it's just real small little cuts.
Just like with the deer.
Just like how I showed you with the deer. Just nice little cuts. And when you get out to pieces like this, you just cut straight down. Okay, so now we're going to unzip the legs again. Yep. You can break all this with your fingers. Okay, that opens up. Get rid of a lot of this skin. Now, he is a tight bird. So
he should be right around just under 2 years.
Under 2 years. Okay, now see how I broke through there?
Yep.
Now you could do, it was him. It's still pumping air out of him. So you could have done it with the scissors, but I like to do it with my hand because I can feel that I'm not ripping any of the meat away as I'm doing this. All I'm doing is taking that fascia and the skin and I'm separating it from the body.
I didn't realize you had that much pressure on the diaphragm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we can
get. I thought I heard it from behind me.
We could get him totally skinned out.
Oh yeah.
And before we open this up, I can make him make noise. Now you see how I nicked the meat right there because I wasn't paying attention? That's what you always gotta be paying attention. Because that could have caused a really big issue. Okay, so now you take the scissors, come right up the leg. Now see how much tougher he was compared to the hen? You really need to get up underneath there. Okay, now it's the same thing. Find your seam, break that fascia that's there. See how much more connective tissue he has to the meat? And this is where a lot of people, like I said, if you aren't paying attention, you could literally pull all this meat right off of the leg. So we're going to work it down. See how I'm working it now? Okay, get your finger underneath there, break all this. Now there's a muscle right there. See how this fat goes up into that muscle right there?
Right.
That's where it will break if it's going to. Okay, hold that up there. Okay. And just slowly, ever so slowly, just start working it around.
This is just more necessary just because of the age.
Because of the age and how big he is, and yeah, I mean, so a year old Tom, it just slips off like that hen does. Hens, I'm gonna say, don't quote me on this, but I'm gonna say 2 years, 2.5 years for a hen, they start getting a little bit tough. Mm-hmm. But underneath that, okay, so now, see, we're stuck at that same impasse because we got to get through that. Right. So, I like to do it with a knife, but you can also do it with a scissors, but you have to be real careful not to nick the meat. Okay, so now, take the scissor, go up in here, and cut that right to the bone. See that little joint right there? Yep. Follow that joint, put your scissors up in there, cut that. Now you see how it's still connected right there? Okay, now, remember what I said about the handle?
Yep.
It's going to take a lot more pressure to get this one off. There you go. Then you come up here, clean up. Clean up what you can. Make sure there's no feathers. And see, by cutting at that joint, it gives you a perfect opportunity to get the knife or the scissors up in there to cut it. Okay? So now that's one leg. Okay? Now we're going to come over here. And we're going to start working down the neck. Now again, all this good fat, if you would have opted to dip them, they would be underneath they would be underneath the skin, and may take a little bit longer to cook, may not, but that is a lot of fat. He's been eating good, and it's yellow, so I know he's been eating corn. And again, if you want to save this, save it. If not, I always give it to the dogs. Dogs love it.
Dog deserves a good treat. All the hard work he's put in.
Chasing them pigs around, huh? Okay, so we got to finish skinning the neck. Grab the scissors, right down alongside the bone. The neck there. Right, yep, right in there. Yep. Go deep. Okay, so with these shears, it's not like regular scissors. Hold that neck up, right there. Just grab a hold of that neck right there. It's not like regular. You gotta really put a lot of pressure on it, and you gotta use. See how I'm using the back part of it? It's not like regular scissors. You gotta really get it in there to get them off. Pull that neck over. There we go. Get up underneath there. Cut all that fascia again, and we just work our way around. Now, again, take this off. See that? See that right there? That's the culprit. That's what's stopping us from just peeling him like a rabbit. Because you saw how the hen was. Yeah. She peeled real easy. Okay? So now, we just keep working our way around. Working our way around. Hold the breast. Keep putting pressure down. Now we're getting into the wing. Okay? Here. Now this is going to be he's going to be tough. He's going to be real tough to do this with. Really, really tough to do this with. Get squeezed. Get my hand underneath there. So I got a window already started with my finger, and just start ripping. Okay. Come off. Like I said, you can dry pluck a turkey too. Takes a little more time to do, but you can still get her done. Now, see how we broke that fascia right there? That's where you want to start. Get your fingers underneath there and just start peeling. Just start peeling. Just like that. Put your finger underneath this side. Start working it down. Now, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. This is how I learned how to do it when I was younger. This is how I've done it my whole life. People will hang them, pull them down. I mean, you can do just about anything you want. But you got to use what works for you. And I'm not saying that this is going to work for you, because it might not. You might have to cut it. You might have to use something. But what I like to do is, again, just use my fingers. Your fingers will break it. See how easy it's breaking?
Even with the age.
Even with the age. Okay? Now, oh, he's going to be a tough one. Yep. Okay. So now, see how we got to this part here?
Yep.
Now last time, we didn't have to do anything to open this wing up. Okay? So what I'm going to do is take the knife and just start cutting the skin away. Because we're at that joint right now, and there's really good meat on this side. And it's all about feel, son. You feel you're not going too deep, and you know you're going too deep. If not, a little deeper. It's all about feel. Once we get it up over this joint, it should slip right off. See how my finger just cut all that right there?
Yep.
Same thing. Now, I don't know how good he would have been cooked with the skin on, because the skin is so darn tough. But a lot of guys that hunt turkeys, they skin their turkeys, but they'll take the wing off right here. Because you see how much of a pain in the butt this is?
Right.
So they'll take the wing off right at that joint. Like I said, I wanted to show you everything about this, so you get the full experience. There's a lot of meat right there.
Yeah, you can see it.
That's a lot of meat. Okay, so now cut this. Without breaking the wing. Yep. Now see what I did right there? Because I didn't have it separated enough. So sometimes if you catch it, sometimes you can fix it. Sometimes you can't. What we're going to do, we're going to cut it. You see how easy it is for that skin to take those muscles. And you wouldn't think it. You really wouldn't think it. And the same thing happens on the deer. You really wouldn't think it, but that pressure that you're putting on there literally will pull that meat right up. Finish the grease out. No, you don't want to let go. And I mean, half the time, they become your pets. You like them, you know, you're with them every day. You get to see them grow up from babies and stuff. So you want to get as much from them as possible. You really don't want to waste anything. Because, I mean, they gave themselves up for us. Even though it's what they're bred for and all types of stuff, you always have to think. You always have to think that when you take an animal's life, they're giving you life. And that's what I always try to tell Savannah, and I try to tell Carolyn. It's not just killing the animal and we're going to eat and everything like that. It's they're making a heck of a sacrifice. And you've made a heck of a sacrifice too, putting all that time and energy and food and money and chasing them around and all types of stuff.
With Lizzie songs and stories.
Exactly. So it's just a pull it up. And so even with if we would have dunked it, we'd have still had these like little pin feathers.
Yeah, when we butchered the brothers, we dunked them both.
Yep.
You're always left with feathers.
So you take your knife and you just get down in there.
Yeah.
And you just
with his brothers, the bars were so stuck in. We actually had to take bars.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And what'll happen sometimes too is when you're done, especially doing that, you take a torch. You take a torch and you torch it, just to singe off the guard feathers and stuff like that. Okay. Now we got one wing done. Gotta finish getting this off of the back. Again, bigger birds. I need your help more on this bird than I did on the little one. So hold that down there. Sorry.
You're right.
And just start cutting around the neck. And just keep going through the fat. See? See how that works?
Yeah.
Just keep pressure on it that way. Okay, so now this part of the bird, let's get a little bit more down here. Hold it flat. Do that, man. See, because now I really have to be careful now in here, because when you get the feathers popping through the backside of the skin, it makes it for real difficult to see what you're doing.
Right.
Now you see how I'm using the front of that tip of that blade, but I'm keeping it flat against the bird. See, I'm not cutting anything when I do it that way. Just keep it flat against the bird. Okay. Come down here, start working on the tail, drop your shears, poke it through, cut it right off, just like that. Okay, yes, there is meat there, but most of the time when you cook it, you ain't getting that meat anyway, because that's what they call the oyster. It goes up inside here. Okay, that's an oyster right there, that's an oyster right there. Okay, hold the bird. Work the meat down. I mean, work the skin down. Okay. Roll the bird a little bit, like
This way?
Yep. Yep. And then hold it just like that. Okay, now see how we got the feathers showing again? Mm-hmm. Now we got to get underneath the skin again. You just start working real slow. Get yourself underneath the skin. This guy's got a lot of fat, so I'm actually doing this a lot faster than I normally do. Most of our turkeys aren't this fat.
We usually try to stick closer to the year.
We try to keep it about, well, 9 months.
9 months.
9 months for a heritage turkey, about 9 months. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's too long, you're putting too much into them. Well, heritage turkeys grow a lot slower than
like most heritage breeds.
Yeah, than broad-breasted, because that's the other turkey, and that's what we're going to get.
That's what my parents would raise growing up.
Yep. Well, same here. But we wanted this meat. I mean, when you look at a broad-breasted turkey,
and the
meat,
flavor, you can taste the flavor.
The flavor is insane.
Even if you don't season or nothing, you can tell if you take a broad-breasted compared to a heritage.
Oh, it's snowing. It's snowing. But yeah, oh my goodness, yeah. But now see, you'll never get the flavor on a broad-breasted that you will get, but you can get close to it if you feed it. If you feed it corn and keep it from moving, keep it nice and tender. And I'm not saying lock it down in a kennel, but like if you got a run for turkeys, it's like quail. You don't want them moving around. You want them to stay in a small area, feed up. They get up to eat, they get up to drink, and then they lay back down. Yeah. That's what you want for them. You don't want them free. You don't want broad breast free range. And these guys, they can free range all they want, because even if you do, and trust me, we've tried both ways. We've tried to have these free ranged, and we've tried to have them in a pen, and it's the same exact amount of time to get them to a point to where you can even get a 20-pound bird. And most of our birds average like 16. I'm not even 16, I'm being a little generous. 15 to like 18 pounds. 18 is a big bird.
That's what our biggest one of his brothers were. He came out to about 18, and the other one I think was 16. Mm-hmm. And they weren't even a year old, or they might have been about a year old. Not quite a year. No.
Okay, so now we're going to undress this leg. Okay. So we got to start up here again.
Yep.
Start pulling away, making sure that we're not pulling no meat off. Okay. You want to separate
the trim.
Yep. This can well, we're gonna trim that off anyway. That's
right.
a lot of fat, buddy.
Oh yeah.
But see how you can get your hand down in there. Now I want you to break that with your fingers. Go ahead. Get your fingernails in there. Break it up. There you go. Yep, just like that. Okay. And you just keep going down. And like I said, he's tough. He's old. Not old, but he's older. He's tough. There's some spots that we're going to have to cut. Now, again, take your scissors. I got the bird. Get up in there. Deep. Remember what I said, deep.
Yep.
There you go. There. See how that works?
Yep.
Yes. Hold on. Let me get the skin first. And then I'll make you a pocket for the scissors. Oh, actually, he's actually breaking a lot easier. Okay. So now see where my fingers are?
Yep.
Put it right next to my finger. Push up in there. And now cut down. Yep. Now you go ahead. You figure it out because you're going to have to learn how to do it. And that's, just push, and yep, keep going. There you go. Now you see how that opened up again?
Yeah.
Now we still got that same spot up here. So what we're going to do is we'll peel this down a little bit more so we got a little bit more room to see it. You want to be able to see it. If you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to end up cutting something that you don't want. Okay. Put your finger all the way through there again. Make yourself a pocket. Okay. Pull that pocket up while holding the bird. So you can actually rip that right off. Okay? So now, all that we're left with is this here. Get your knife and just start cutting. Hold that with your finger. Good. Get that down. And again, okay, I want you to do this one. Take the scissors either from this way or this way, and I want you to cut right through that, okay?
Right from here.
Yep. Now, listen, put yourself in a position that is comfortable for you and you can hold the bird at the same time, okay? I know I got you sitting on that side, but you're a lefty anyway, so get it down in there. Yep. Keep going. Keep going. It's going to be tough because that skin is really tough. Okay, hold on, man. It's a little too tough. Let me go through it. Oh, you're almost there.
Yeah,
there you go. Keep going.
It.
Yep, keep going. Good job. Okay.
Didn't quite make
Nope, that's all right. So now this is where the knife work comes into play, because you're not going to be able to get.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody might be able to. I can't. So pull on that. Bring your knife and cut right to the bone, because there's a bone there. Remember?
Yep.
Okay. Now you take this. Grab a hold of it. And there's some people that use vice grips. They have fish pliers and stuff like that, and you could use that to pull this part off. This is always the hardest part right here. See that skin?
Yeah, it's real tough skin.
Yep. Very, 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 very tough skin. Very tough skin. This is.
It grows callous when they're laying on the ground and
Yep. Well, see what I try.
brushing up against trees and whatnot.
What I try to do, like I said, if this was for me, I would just cut it off right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wouldn't even be worrying about this part right here. But when I do birds for other people, I try to make them as nice as I possibly can.
There she comes.
Yep, and we just peel it off. That's why I said this is where the knife work comes into play. And we just peel it off. Right around the bone, exposing all the ligaments. And you just work your way right down. Then pick it up. Do the same thing. Bring the knife in. Without cutting yourself. See, this is what I said. With a sharp knife, turn it over. Hold it there. Sharp knife comes into play because this stuff right here is such a pain in the butt. And you know what? Somebody might have a better way to do it. And if they do, I would love to learn it. But like I said, this is how I was taught. This is how I have been doing it my whole life.
That's one thing I might know how to do something, but there's always another way to do it.
Oh, there's always an easier way to do it.
And if you're willing to learn,
yep, you can always learn it.
Then you can find shortcuts to ways that you've been doing it that help simplify it for your future process.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave that for right now till we get the bird totally clean. Okay. All right. So now just keep working it. We're gonna work this off. Okay. Pull that, and then we're gonna cut the rest. Okay. So what we do, hold the bird up just like that. Take this in your hand. That's where the anus is, and you just want to work right around the anus. Cut right through it. Like I said, you're going to lose a little bit of meat, but it's not a lot. Most of the time, people don't even know that they're losing anything like that. Okay? Right down. Okay. Now all we got to do is get this separated here. Okay. Get that separated there. That's part of the esophagus. Okay. Now, this big old piece of meat right there that goes into the wing. See that? Yeah. Put your finger down one side of it and just start breaking it. I'm hoping this side is a little easier to pull off. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Alrighty. That was a lot easier. Okay. Now, all we're working with again is those lock feathers. I call them lock feathers because it just they lock the wing right in. But now see, I can split this skin all the way up. Okay, and we gotta break this. See how tough that is?
It's incredibly tough.
Isn't that crazy? And on that hen, it was practically nothing. It just separated real good. So that, and I mean, you felt him when he was kicking around with his wings and stuff. When we had him in the kill code, you definitely know that they got a lot of power. But these things, they're so tough. Now imagine you're out hunting and you shoot a 5-6 year old turkey. Maybe they get that old, maybe they don't. I've never shot one over 3, I think. But imagine how tough them boys are. So what they do is they cut it off right there. They don't even worry about this part. Okay? So, but again, we're homesteading. We're trying to keep as much of the meat as possible. It just works. Just works. Cheat a little bit here. I'm going to cheat a little bit.
I'm going to show the proper protocol for the other side. So
yeah. Alright, just watch your hand for a minute and you hold right there. I'm going to try and pop these feathers off right here. Okay. Now they're all broken free. Cut right down one side of the bone. Okay. That's the issue. Alright. So now you can peel this off this way. And then it should be right up and pull right off. He's like, nope, I'm going to be a butthead till the end. Then look how much fat he had up underneath this thing. That's crazy. Let's see one like that. And I will tell you something too. Somebody will say, oh my goodness, they butchered it. They made a freaking mess out of it. They did this, they did that. 1, they're not eating it. 2, they didn't raise it. 3, they're not here to do it. They have something like that, tell them, they say something like that, you just tell them, well, start your own mobile and butcher business. That's like one of the biggest things right now that people need, especially small farmsteads,
especially
with
in rural
people.
places like here.
Yep, people moving out of the cities. They've never seen this. They're watching YouTube videos, and YouTubers like, oh my gosh, this is so easy, and you can do this and you can do that. Well,
what's also the internet, and the internet's full of excuses.
Oh yeah, yep,
opinions.
Yep, always. So if somebody says anything like that, you just tell them like, hey, well, then start yourself a mobile business, and I'll be your #1 customer.
Or show me.
Yep.
Let's see your video.
Yep. Come out here, do a video, show me how to do it. You know, spend the time setting everything up, doing everything right, so nobody comes after you and all this stuff and everything. But I mean, it just gets to the point sometimes where I have to turn Facebook off, or I got to turn something off, because everybody has their own way of doing something.
You can't give energy to everybody that comes by.
Nope, and you really can't. And everybody has their own way of doing things. And yes,
some people are willing to learn, and some people are just deep in their trenches and not willing to budge.
And some people, you know, like they're going to say, oh man, they made a mess of that bird and this and that. I can't believe you didn't dip it and everything like that. Well, there's sometimes when you don't want to. Because what we're going to do with this guy is we're going to break him down, and we're going to take him inside after we clean him all up, and I'm going to show you how to break him down. And he's not going to be a full bird. If you wanted to do a full bird for Thanksgiving, of course you're going to do the dunking. And if somebody wants it, you know, differently, then it's the same thing. Now, remember what I told you about the neck?
Yep.
Feel that bone right there.
You
feel that?
You can see it protruding even to the
so you come to the front of it. But because his darn neck is so big, we're going to cut down along the side so that when we go in with the shears, which it might be a little too much for the shears. See how I had to move down a little bit? Okay. And shears are your friend. Shears are a homesteader's friend. I mean, you see most of them guys out there butchering, oh, you find this joint, you find that joint. If you don't know what you're looking for, just get yourself a pair of shears. They'll cut through anything. Get yourself a good pair.
Yeah, my buddy's gonna be a real nice set now.
Okay, so now where we're at. Okay, that's all Brett. Wow, dude, that is going to taste really good. Okay, hold that leg down. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come in underneath here, and we're just going to cut straight back. Okay, and that way, all we're doing is getting into the fat. See, I can get my hand in there. Yep. Go ahead, put your hand up in there and feel what I'm feeling.
Yep.
Feel that? Okay, so now, same thing again. Find out where the anus is. Bring your scissors straight down to it. Okay. Grab a hold of it so it's not getting all over your meat. And stick it on the outside a little bit. And this is where having running water, which is over there, we'll get to it in a minute. But baby wipes come in very handy. Very handy. Okay, so now, get up in here. See how all that poop was coming out?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we put this underneath the bird, so you don't get it on the meat, and you just pull everything out. Okay. Everything is disconnected now. Okay. All right. Wipe that up. If there's any on the bird, wipe it off of the bird. Okay. And then we'll wash it off. But here, so we're gonna open up this gizzard. Look at all that fat on that gizzard, man. That is something else. And it's greasy too. Look how greasy that is. Ooh, that's awesome. Okay, same thing as before. Come right down the center. Split it. And just open her up. And all that. But again, like I said, you want to eat these, see this? Just peel that right off. Get yourself some buttermilk. Leave them in the refrigerator overnight in some buttermilk. And the next day you can eat them right up. See how easily that comes out? Like, remember how I said the bigger the bird, the easier it is?
Yep.
Bigger the bird, the easier it is.
Yeah, that hand just tore right up.
Yep, on chickens and quail and guineas and stuff like that. It just, so, all right, go put that in the sink so we can wash that. All right. Now my hands got a bunch of shit on them from the gizzard. Come over and wash the hands.
She's a roll, isn't she?
Huh?
She's a roll, isn't she?
Yeah, that's a royal. Yep. Yeah, she's a royal. That's a royal, that's a royal, that's a royal, that's a chocolate.
Is that the only Tom that you have the royal?
Yep, that's a royal.
So that's ours?
Yep, that's yours. Okay, so now we got the disgusting stuff out.
Yep.
The stuff that can ruin the meat, all right? Go in here. Again, somebody's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're taking all that fat out of that turkey. It doesn't matter because we ain't
roasting it.
Yep, we're not roasting it full. This would be a beautiful roast.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been perfect for Thanksgiving. But now here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, you can only eat turkey on Thanksgiving. Bubba, we eat turkey all the time. So what we do is we'll cut the breast off and we'll freeze the breast, and I'll let them sit out for about an hour, hour and a half. Let them get a little thaw, and then I'll put them on the slicer, and I'll make just turkey breast slices out of them, and we eat that in sandwiches and all types of stuff. Okay, reach up in here, grab the heart. Yep. And turkey heart is really good to eat. Really, really good to eat. We like it a lot. But we eat the heart just about everything. That goat heart yesterday was really good. But again, I'm really not sold on the goats. I don't know. My dad's like, yeah, you gotta grow up with it, and I'm like, I don't know. I like the initial bite. The initial bite was great.
We had a Nubian in Afghanistan, the Dying Corps civilian contractors. Mm-hmm. They went out to the village and they bartered for it. They brought it on post.
Yeah.
Because I worked down there at the entrance checkpoint where they worked, I was invited to partake with them.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did to it, how the goat was raised. I can't tell you any of that information, but once they grilled that up, it tasted amazing. Well,
and seeing that's what a lot of people were saying last night, because I got online and I was doing some networking last night. A lot of people were saying that the more fat that's on them, the more lanolin that you're going to get, and I don't even know if I'm saying it, lanolin, lanolin.
Yeah.
But
the oil.
Yeah, the fat, and she was so fat. I mean, Bubba, there was 22 pounds of fat on that. I mean, I cut it off of her. I pulled it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. All right, so again, look. See how I'm getting my finger underneath there? Okay.
Is that the
diaphragm? That's part of the diaphragm. Okay. And you want to go right up against the ribs.
Yep.
Get your whole hand on it. And again, the bigger the bird, the easier to get the lungs out. Because on them quail, man, whoo, they are a butt. But yeah, there's your lungs. Okay. And then if you want to do the other side, roll your sleeve up. Roll your sleeve all the way up. You want to make sure your sleeve is rolled up. Make sure your hand's clean. Wipe it off with a wipe. But you want to get up in there, and again, you can see it. See where this fascia is right here?
Yep.
Get your finger and pop a hole right there, and you'll get into
right there.
it. Yep.
Up against the rib.
Yep. Get your hand and go right to the back.
You can feel
Get right to the back and follow it all the way to the spine. Bring it all the way up, and then go all the way towards the front of the bird. It's a feeling thing, because even on small birds, you got to know what you're feeling. And then once you get a hold of it, just if you think it's all broken, pull it out.
Yeah, I just completely obliterated it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, yeah, I see. So, yep, you got underneath that one. But now what happened was when you went down here, you didn't get to the spine. You gotta follow your fingers to the spine.
Yeah, I already gone back in before you said the spine, and I haven't gone.
No, it's all right.
Learning curves.
No, yeah, learning curves. It's no big deal. So, again. This makes it easier because it's not so. Then you just grab a hold and you just start pulling the pieces out there. Okay, you got a little bit right there. That's fine. Got that one. And we'll go up here and clean this rib out, and then we'll go and start pulling that out. Okay. Now, see, this was another thing too. Look in there and see how you didn't get far enough up this way. So you gotta get your finger in there and feel all the way to the rib cage. Put your finger right in between each rib. See how I'm putting my finger in between each rib? Can you see that?
Somewhat, yeah.
See this area right here.
Mm-hmm.
So get your fingers down in there and just start pulling. And you'll pull, it should, most of the time it comes out in one piece, but you know what? Hey, that's how you learn. All right, let's see. And the only reason I'm telling you to do this because you're not going to keep the carcass. We're cutting the breast off of this carcass and everything, so you're not going to keep the carcass. But the only reason I'm trying to teach you ideas is because if you were keeping it whole, you'd want all the lung out, okay, and you'd want all the kidney out. You want all this. So right there again, like I said, that's where the kidneys are, and the bones can be real sharp sometimes. Just be real careful because and you don't even know that you're cut until you go to wash your hands after you're done with soap and water.
Right,
like,
you're already you're covering all his blood.
Yep, and it just hurts like a son of a gun. So, all right, get this little piece of lung out. There we go. Now we got a cleaned out bird. And what we do is we take it. A lot of people, they don't break this, but I always break this area right here because there's your wishbone.
Yep.
Wishbone. But I try to get an area in here so that I can get water through it and make sure that it's clean.
Thoroughly clean.
Yep. Make sure your hands are clean. And all we're trying to do is just give it a nice cleaning. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you get water up underneath the fat and stuff like that." Well, when it freezes, you never know the difference. You just want to make sure you get all that nasty stuff out of there. See that? Like that stuff. You want to make sure that that's not in there. And any type of corn or anything like that. Okay? So that's clean. You just hold on to that. Water on a little bit more. Come in here and then just start wiping down. Just want to get all the feathers off that you possibly can. Nice and clean. And sometimes you'll find little pieces of skin that were left on there still. You want to get most of the hair off. Your toms are normally the ones with a lot of hairs on them. Just like with your roosters. I mean, don't get me wrong. The chicken, the hens, they have that hair on them too, but it's not as pronounced as, say, the male species. And once we get it inside too, we'll go over it a little bit more, and we'll make sure this is just the initial cleaning so that you can get it inside and cooled down. This one actually took a lot longer than I was expecting it to take. Always keep your drain clean. Yeah, look at that grease. That's insane. That boy's fat. Stick. Very thick. Take off the feathers. Put it over. Do the same thing. Wash them down. You see, we did kind of butcher up his shoulders a little bit, but again, it's however you want it done. Okay. And I always suggest that you do a good thorough cavity cleaning. Man, he is greasy. Especially right where
like
the
in hog events, you know, they grease the hog. Kids go.
Bubba, I used to do that when I was younger. We had greased hog catching competitions. I used to love doing it. Never won one. When you grab a hold of a 30, 40 pounder that's all greased up, it'll take you for a ride. Okay, get that feather off of that wing there. Pull it. There you go. Okay. Now you take this, 2 hands, stuff that down in there, 2 hands. Tell the wives to put it in there, and I'll get everything cleaned up out here, and then we'll continue. Oh. Here, I'll wash it off. You
gotta go for a ride.
You can grab your phone.
sit?
Yep, if you want to come over here, I'll show you.
Mom, look.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Bruce.
Do you eat your mac and cheese?
You better eat.
Go on.
I ate my 2 bites worth. Is that okay?
Okay, so see this right here?
Yeah.
That's the breastplate.
Do
Okay,
you
that's
taste
the
the
breastbone.
yours?
So you just keep coming down. You just follow it. Okay? Right here. Go like that. You're gonna lose a little bit.
Yeah.
You could always get it back. Okay? So now what happens with the bones is you can feel in here. Put your hand in here. Feel that right there.
You have the little rib cage in
Yep.
there.
Well, so that's the breastplate. So it stops right there.
Alright.
Okay. So you come up, you cut that. Okay. So now the ribs start right here.
Okay.
Okay. The wishbone come down alongside of it. You'll see it here in a second. You just keep working down. Just keep working down the bone. This is where having a sharp knife is imperative. Because once you get to the ribs, a lot of this meat likes to stick up on the ribs. So, see how the meat just keeps coming down? See into like, there we go. So, see that right there? That you're not going to use. Okay, I mean, you can make a stock out of it. I'm going to send the bones home with you guys. You can either give the stock to, or you can either give the carcass to Doc, or you can make stock out of it like I did. I cooked it for 3 days. Okay, so now see how I'm coming into another rib?
Yeah.
Find that, and just keep ever so slowly just working your way down.
Okay.
And people that do this fast have been doing it for years. I can do it fast, but I still end up screwing it up. Grab that. Just go straight down. Just follow that bone straight down. Okay. See how you just gently touching the meat.
Maricela, we're kind of busy right now, so we have to go. It's always something with you, isn't it?
And you come down. So these wings right here, the bone, the edge of the bone is right there. Okay. So that's the bone that we're following right here, because this is the wishbone. Okay. This right here is the wishbone. You want to go down in between that. Come straight down. Cut it out. And then follow that bone. And this is the part of the, so on a chicken, when you get the chicken tenders in the stores, they don't, they have this. That's where the chicken tender is. This is all breast meat, but this is the tender. That's what everybody always wants. So you just work your way down.
I'm fine. No, I'm not.
You just keep
I
working
saw
down.
Spear from the train, and he wasn't ready to leave the frontier. And neither am I. Not yet, anyway. This is my home. I belong here.
You just work this down.
What are you doing here? You mean big picture here? Lot here? Really lucky? After all this time, did you really think we'd let you come back alone?
That's starting to get some of the back. So what you do is, once you get that connected,
Always next term.
like that, and then that can go in stock, or you can cook it up or whatever. Now, once you get this home, or if you want to do it here, it don't matter. This stuff right here, take a knife and just
Peel it off.
peel it off. It'll cook up just fine, but I like to take it off because what I do with these is I'll freeze them and then I'll let them thaw for about an hour, 2 hours, and then I'll put them on the slicer and just make lunch meat out of them, or chipped turkey, and then Carol will make a gravy with it or something like that.
Okay.
You just clean it up as best as you can, make it real nice. That's a good sized breast right there. So right there, it's all done. That's a breast, and then you got your 2 wings already. Now, See this bone right there?
Yeah.
That
That's the thigh?
that's your thigh. That's your thigh. Okay, so what's gonna happen in here?
That's a lot of fat.
Dude, it wasn't
That's a
it.
lot of fat.
I didn't even get to see how much fat was on this little girl. But so what you do is you come down here, and again,
Go lay
it's
down.
just real nice and slow. Find where the bones are at, and get around them because you're gonna start pulling off back meat. Also, you're gonna come in and get these oysters. These are where the oysters are at. See that meat right there?
Yeah.
So we're gonna
At
cut.
least if you're doing your own and you screw it up, it's only your own meat you screwed up.
Well, that's what I told him. Like everybody does it differently, but then you can start following around the backbone here and cut right around the bone. Okay. Normally there's not this much fat on them, so but that's the oyster. That's what a lot of people don't realize is on a bird. It's on every bird. Is that oyster?
Huh.
Oh, this is the one with the Adam Sandler one where they're getting out of, they're graduating. Yeah, the iguana.
You know it.
The iguana.
Oh yeah.
It's
You
funny.
want more than that off your ears? That good for you?
That comes off. Now, see, and I broke that bone already. So this is all free. Okay, so all I'm trying to do is just make sure that I'm getting everything off that I can that's meat. Back. There you go. And like I said, you can clean that fat off if you want, or you can leave it on. These, I would probably leave it on and cook it that way.
Okay.
So then there's a leg, or a thigh and a leg. Really nice sized leg. You could take that fascia off too if you want. So all you do, bring your knife in, get ready for the muscle, and take that, and then it just peels off. Okay? Just like that. All right, Sven.
Yes, sir.
The leg was up like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I broke the socket. Okay?
Yep.
Start working here. I'll do the initial cut. I'll get down alongside there and I'll cut it down for you also. What you want to do is make sure that you follow the bone as close as you can. Now your initial cut, you're going to lose some meat, but then you can go back. You
Just
can
like
shave
the
it.
deer carcass.
Yep, just like the deer carcass. You can shave it as close to the bone as you can possibly get it. Okay? Get it down here. Cut that. Get that started for you, and then I'll let you finish it.
Peaking at 11. Of course, the only second should have stayed home kid. Always one. Extra class clown, secretly disguises himself.
I always have it so that the face of the bird is facing me, and I can hold the bird like this, and I can take the knife and I can just right down along the bone. Nice slow strokes. Nice easy slow strokes. Now, do you want to keep this as one piece, or do you want the leg and the thigh? It could be one piece because you can disconnect it right here without cutting it, or I mean without sawing it. So you take a knife, and this is, if any video that you watch, this is what they talk about. You follow the seams. See where the seam is coming in like this? So if you take your knife and you follow that seam all the way down through here and peel that back, follow it up around there, follow the seam there. The bone, once you get the meat broke, you just snap the bone and it'll pop out just like that. And you'll have a thigh and then you'll have your leg. Same thing with chickens.
Okay.
Exactly how we're breaking this down. And this is probably better to learn on than a chicken because a chicken is smaller. So these big ones you can actually break down. And when you get home, just clean up the legs a little bit. Wash them down real good. You can salt water them. You can do whatever you want. Clean up the legs real good. Make sure there's no feathers on them. All this skin that's there, because this is the tough skin. There we go. Just like that. Yep, there you go. Yep, perfect. Okay, now stop. See how there's meat here? Okay, now feel in here with your finger. That's where the ribs are. So now you want to take that hunk of meat off right there. Yep.
Just all right here.
Yep. Okay, so hold on one second. So as you're doing it, hear the bone? Hear how I'm scraping that bone? That's what you want to do. See how that's cutting it now? And then you just bring the knife and follow it right around there. And now you're getting into the side and the back meat. So you can cut that right off. Cut this straight through. You're going to find the bone. Cut this. There you go. Just like that. And then you got your breast. Okay? Now the leg, it's a lot easier. Okay? Pull down on that and work yourself around. You're going to find bone. You're going to find this. Cut it here. Straight back. And then you're going to work all the way around that. Cut that tendon. And work all the way around that. Alright? And it'll come right off. Now, like I said, so hold on, I'll show you something here. That's what I was showing you. Your oysters are right here. Okay? So when you're doing this cut, go into the body, along the spine, and cut out. Okay? And see how I'm scraping the knife against the bone? That's the best way that you can get it. Just keep coming down that way, and you'll get the whole oyster. Okay, so that's the oyster. Now, you can finish all that off right there, and it'll come right off. All right?